The night was cold and the streets were eerily silent, save for the sound of Liam's shallow breathing. He sat hunched beneath a flickering street lamp, the dim light illuminating the crumpled eviction notice in his trembling hands. His other hand clutched a faded photograph of his late father, the man who had given him the love of music. This moment felt like rock bottom, or so he thought. Liam had always dreamed of becoming a professional pianist. Growing up in a small, quiet town, music had been his sanctuary. It offered him a world beyond the poverty he knew too well. His father's piano was his only treasure, his only inheritance. When his father passed away, Liam vowed to honor his memory by performing on the biggest stage in the world. But life had a cruel way of testing him. By the time he was 25, Liam had lost his job, sold most of his possessions to survive, and now faced eviction. His dreams seemed further away than ever. With nowhere to turn, Liam decided to leave his small town for the city, hoping to find a spark of opportunity. All he carried was his father's photograph and a tattered notebook filled with half-forgotten compositions. After days of searching, he managed to land a job washing dishes at a small café. In the corner of that café stood a weathered piano, its once polished surface now faded and dusty. Late one night after closing, Liam's fingers hesitantly brushed the keys. A single note echoed through the empty café, then another and another. Something stirred deep within him, something he thought he had lost forever. The cafe manager, Sophia, heard him play that night. She saw the passion in his music, raw and unrefined, yet deeply moving. "You've got talent," she said. "You should play for the customers. I'll even give you free meals if you keep practicing after hours." Sophia became Liam's first supporter, a beacon of hope in his bleak world. Encouraged by her belief in him, Liam began to play for the cafe patrons during quiet evenings. Word of his music spread, and soon he was invited to participate in a local piano competition. But this new path wasn't without obstacles. At the competition, Liam met Adrian, a polished and arrogant pianist with an air of superiority. Adrian came from wealth and privilege, his every word dripping with disdain. "That's your technique?" Adrian sneered after hearing Liam play. "I've heard street performers with more skill." Liam was rattled. Doubts gnawed at him as he took the stage. Under the weight of Adrian's mockery and the pressure of performing, he froze. His mind went blank, and the notes he had practiced so diligently slipped away. Humiliated, he left the stage and spent that night tearing up his compositions. But fate wasn't done with Liam yet. One evening, as he played alone in the cafe, a kind old man lingered after closing. Mr. Nakamura, a retired music teacher, had been quietly observing Liam for weeks. "You have potential," he said, "but potential alone won't take you far. If you're serious about this dream, I'll train you, but only if you're ready to work harder than you ever have before." Liam agreed, and under Mr. Nakamura's guidance, he began the most grueling journey of his life. He practiced for hours, sometimes until his fingers bled. He performed on street corners and in subway stations, learning to conquer his stage fright. He failed often, but each failure taught him something new. Sophia remained his unwavering cheerleader, reminding him of his father's dream. But Adrian didn't disappear. He continued to taunt Liam, even using his wealthy connections to block Liam from performing at larger venues. The lowest point came when Liam finally got a chance to audition for a prestigious music festival. On his way to the audition, Adrian's sabotage struck again. Liam's piano was damaged beyond repair. Heartbroken but determined, Liam borrowed an old keyboard and gave the performance of his life. The judges admired his resilience but found his playing unpolished. Once again, he didn't make the cut. Seeing his despair, Sophia and the cafe patrons rallied together. They pooled their savings and surprised Liam with a second-hand grand piano. Touched by their kindness, Liam poured his heart into his music like never before. Sophia encouraged him to share his journey online, and soon his videos began inspiring people around the world. Years of struggle and perseverance finally led Liam to the World Pianist Championship. On that grand stage, he faced Adrian one last time. Adrian's performance was technically flawless, as always, but when Liam played, his music told a story of pain, resilience, and hope. The audience was moved to tears. When the winner was announced, it was Liam's name that echoed through the hall. As he held the trophy in his hands, he looked at his father's photograph and felt tears stream down his face. In that moment, Liam realized the trophy wasn't the real victory, honoring his father's legacy and proving to himself that even in the darkest moments, with support of those who believe in you, anything is possible.